What's up, YouTube? It's Mr2. Well, let's take a look. We're going to start right here with this video. There's a rodent coil here with a magnet ball running inside of it. That's just a plastic aquarium. I only got one shot at it. It broke. You've been using the bottom of a milk can. But nonetheless, we'll pause it here and see what's happening when we induce hydrogen and oxygen, which are split electrically through electrolysis. We introduce that gas into an enclosure and ignite it with a spark. I did this with a rodent coil, and you can see that these plasma, and that's what they are. I've looked them up. They're high energy plasma. This is what water looks like when it's highly charged. When the two elements are highly charged and they revert back to water, they become plasma. And plasma is highly affected by magnetic field, which you can actually see here. The fact that all these are curving around that vortexual center of that coil, shows that magnetism has a great effect on them. We'll let them keep going, and of course, as Birkeland currents go, and we'll get into that later on down the line, this causes some of these plasmas, if they get near a Birkeland current, which are passing right through that room as well, and they tend to travel in pairs and in triplets. And we'll see some of these bursts as we'll watch here, as some of these come in contact with other magnetic field lines in the room, Birkeland currents. Say, for instance, right here, this plasma just came in contact with a Birkeland current in the room. Causes what is called a pinch current, or a pinch effect. Call it the Bennett pinch. And I'll post all the links on all this stuff so you all can see it, because there's scientific evidence behind all the Bennett pinch currents and how they're made and what causes them, and plasma physics and all that. It's all explains how this is working. We'll just continue to watch as this goes on. It's got another one here that we'll watch with the milk cartons. This is in a negative view. Just let it play. It's incredible. This is exactly what the sun's doing. It's producing water. And we'll watch this here on the milk carton. And what happens here with this is not clear, so it's a lot. It dims the actual detonation down so it can be seen a little better. You can see how the flame it envelops the coil itself, and then when the pinch current effect happens, bam! It just immediately throws a massive amount of high charged plasmas against the bottom of the table there, and magnetic field has quite a bit to do with the amount and frequency of these plasma. And here again, we're going to watch these split. As soon as it hits that current, another field line, it splits. And these magnetic field lines split plasmas. Now, I've actually got some higher resolution photographs of these in still images that we can take a look at. That really outstanding to take a look at. This is what happens when water is created through high energy plasma. And we'll take a look at this other. This is what happens when one of these plasmas come in contact with a field current, that passes through our atmosphere continuously. These lines of magnetism, they pass through everything. When one of these run into it, they burst, or they do the Bennett pinch. We'll take a look at filamentation and Merklin convection, and that's another one we need to take a look at. Let's take a look at that picture. Now, what's known as Merklin convection is a naturally occurring plasma, such as lightning, or you pull a plug out of the wall, that spark that flies out. That's a plasma field of high charged energy, and inside these high charged energies, they find that elemental separation is taking place, and you have iron and silicon, magnesium, sulfur, carbon, all the way out, through oxygen, hydrogen, helium, towards the outside of the plasma itself. All these elements are present in lightning or any type of electric arc. The same exact elements are present inside the sun, and almost in the exact same order. And you can look at the periodic table of human elements, and they also show that the human body is made up of these same exact elements. These same elements are present in the human body, just like they are in a plasma field, and Earth, and any other object that's in space. They all going to have an iron core, and this is what's in the center of a plasma, an iron core, and that's in the center of this plasma right here. And you can almost see as it goes out the bands of light change that show these different types of elements. They're present in everything electric. It is truly an electric universe. These bands are present in everything. These elements are in all of us. And let's take a look here at what has been found throughout our solar system. We'll take a look at first water on the sun, and I won't read all this, but they have found that these they found hot water obtained is in these sunspots, and of course they've actually found that this in the light waves that they measure, light waves with spectrographs that show the light, or shows water as a high energy plasma, and shows that water actually exists at these higher vibrational states, and this is what they're measuring from not only our sun, which there's quite a few articles here. These are abstracts. You have to go and register here to get the full articles. Some of them are free, some of them I ain't paying for them. And unless you can go register and get the whole article, but I'm not allowed to show that because of copyright. Anyways, there are articles about water on the sun, molecules everywhere, high temperature rotational transitions, which is one we have, water and Betelgeuse and Antares, and I mean there are an abundance of water. And when you get this full article here, that's the first thing in the article, the abundance of water available in Betelgeuse and Antares, and the fact that that's what these things produce, yielded abundance relative to atomic hydrogen. It's everywhere, and it's created through electrolysis and electricity. And the fact that our galaxy, or we'll just start with our Earth. Our Earth gets its energy from the sun, and the sun's energy goes in and out of our poles, and that produces a magnetic field around our planet. Our sun, our Earth, is tethered to the sun at these points around the sphere, which are the dimensional points of a vortex with an induced current from either direction. As Francis says, he likes to think of it as two vortexes pulling against one another. Well, they are. They've actually merged. And you don't want to look at it as a tetrahedral triangle. You want to look at it as a spherical cone of vortexes and induced currents. And the flow here, it goes in both directions at both ends. But there's a base flow that these Birkeland currents work on the sun and the Earth. These currents come from the center of our galaxy, and they tether our sun to the center of our galaxy. And these currents, as they go in at the polar regions, which is what this is how magnets work. And all these planets are doing suns, and they're all doing the same thing. They emit, or necessarily emit, they have an attractive force around the center as the current of its magnet is induced at its poles. So, nonetheless, anything's going to be attracted to it all the way around. This is just the process of way how the current flows into it, the pinch effect that takes place. That is creation, and this is how it all works. And this is what they're going to end up having to rewrite most of our educational system, especially the sciences, because plasma physics has proven pretty much all of this right here. And the fact that the suns and stars are mostly water, and the fact that we are mostly water, and the earth is mostly water, and everything's mostly water. There's iron in everything, and there's iron in all of us. The center of our blood cell, the very part of our whole body, is an iron element right in the center of the blood cell. When you put electricity in the water, it turns red. The same reason that the blood's red. You look up copper-based blood, and it's blue. Of course, that's because it has copper element right in the center of the cell, surrounded by other elements. No less, when electricity is passed through copper and water, then the water turns blue too. It's because of electrolysis that the blood is blue, and because of electrolysis, the blood is red through the element that the electricity is passing through. And there's tons of this, man. There's tons of it to learn. We're still, we all need to be digging in, trying to figure out what we can, the best we can do. It's all going to be rewritten, and I don't think it's as complicated as it's made out to be. We always try to make it more complicated than it is, and it's all about just positive and negative, truly. And the fact that when you look at this whole scale here, the entire scale is made up of pattern recognition over and over and over. This is the same process happening in an atom between the nucleus and the electron. Yet this pattern recognition, as far as the human body goes, is only repeated one time, whereas all the other patterns repeat quite readily and over and over. There's only one time where the human body or the human entity is repeated, and that's the actual universe itself, and the cell of the biological brain. That's a pattern repeating, and to see that, to understand that these things are going to work regardless, and if the South Pole is anode and the North Pole is cathode, then this is going to work in this direction. And when that pole flips and the currents flow in the opposite direction, then you get the opposite effects. The only thing in this entire universe able to manipulate those currents are the biological brain and the universe itself. These other things do what they do because that's all they do. Yet the human brain, the biological brain of all living brains, have an ability to manipulate that positive and negative current. That's truly a profound thing to understand, that you have ability in your brain to manipulate this world around you. And that's exactly what we do. It just doesn't happen in a metaphysical type way. You can look at it that way if you want to, because actually the thought of your mind is what makes your hands move. And when you put your hands on something, you manipulate it. And it's done that way through thought. It's really a physical process that we're here doing. At any rate, there's a look at where we're at here, and maybe that'll help people understand. Maybe it helps me understand that we still don't know everything. We may not ever know everything. What we will know when we learn about electric universes, this energy comes from somewhere. And that's why they don't want to say that. That's why they don't want to give up gravity, because gravity, this energy comes from a creative source, and that's what That's what the electric universe and science itself will prove. We just open our eyes and look at it. So at any rate, I hope it helps. Peace and love. Big heads up.